How's that?
I flipped the record button on. I mentioned that I'm so excited to have you guys here joining this award and trophy ceremony. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is roll right into a screen to share. And let's see here. All right, you guys picking up what I see on the screen here?
Yes.
You guys seeing the main PowerPoint slide? All right.
Seeing your Capital City AmTour picture.
Perfect.
Cover.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So you guys all know that recently, The Last Dance tribute to Michael Jordan kind of aired on ESPN. And as I was growing up, we all fans of basketball, whenever you heard that theme song at the Chicago Stadium and you was a visiting team, you was in trouble, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and introduce our flight champions with that over, right? All right, I'm gonna do this. And senior Sarazen, all the way from Springfield, Ohio, we got our super senior, two-stroke victory, Mr. Buzz Radar. Lancaster, Ohio, he's the all-star on the guitar. Our 2019 senior Hogan flight champion, winning 5 strokes. We got Mr. Rhyan. Last year's 2019 Senior Jones champion, all the way from the east side, Gahanna, Ohio, with a narrow 1-stroke victory, Wiley. He's not young. We got Mr. Marcus Kidd for a 6-stroke victory, all the way from Blacklick, Ohio. Next up, we got the big man, Sarazen Flight, 12 strokes to 16 strokes from Chesapeake, Ohio. Big man make big plays in big time moments. Winning a scorecard playoff, Mr. Robert McDaniel. We got another one out of the Lancaster, Ohio. 2-stroke victory, Palmer champion, senior, playing with the flat bellies. Jim, Pullins. And last but not least, the medalist, shooting a 3-over par 75 from Blacklick, Ohio. Hogan flight champion, 3-stroke victory, the Sammy, Ruksujjar. National anthem for all of you. Y'all winners. Congratulations to all my flight champions at the Country Club of Muirfield Village. Your only #1 amateur golf tour in Central Ohio and Greater Columbus. All right, gentlemen. Round of applause to all you guys out there. All right. So, those of you watching, you guys are on tour, but there's going to be a lot of people out there watching this later. I'm Jacob Bridges, the tour director for the Capital City AmTour. And just yesterday, we completed our first event on the 2020 season at the Country Club at Muirfield Village. So I'd like to welcome you all here to tonight. This is the trophy and award ceremony. Obviously, with social distancing, we are not able to award or gather or kind of high-five each other at the conclusion of a round. So this kind of is an alternate substitute to that. And I have a lot of the players out there on tour joining us here now to congratulate our champions. So we'll get right into it. Obviously, you guys know this has been a continuation of a lot of episodes prior to today. All participants are muted upon entry. The session is recorded. So if you do happen to kind of engage into the conversations, just be mindful of that. Session will be limited to 45 minutes, and I'll try to keep pace and moderate what's going on so that way we can get this done in a timely manner. All right, moving ahead. All right, so here's our tournament review. We had 72 players tee up. 50 of us completed 18 holes. That's a good feat considering how it looked going into that day with the weather. We awarded $3,780 in total trophy and award. We got a medalist out there, kind of announced him already. That's Sammy Ruksujjar. He tied his personal best, equaling his feats at Sido Reserve in Tartan Fields. We had 7 flight champions, and I'll kind of go after this, get into that. We did assess one penalty during our tournament. We had a player who played from the wrong tees, incurring a 2-stroke penalty. Kind of a factoid here, that's a model of the tour is its pace. Our lead group led the way with completing a round of 18 holes in 3 hours and 47 minutes, which enabled us that followed to continue and achieve an average for the field of approximately 4 hours and 2 minutes. We're going to kind of wrap up things and kind of share what the Capital City point standings looks like after our first event. I do have an item here that was brought in, some lost and found. And then as we wrap up, how you can go out there if you really had the experience that you desired by playing tournament golf in this event. I ask you do a win for us, and that's go out to the Facebook page and recommend this tour so that the way the public can hear from you of what it looks like inside. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and collapse this, and what we're gonna do is get right into the tour database. You guys see right here, you guys see the tour database right now?
I'm not.
All right, how about now?
We're still on your other screen, Jacob.
All right, let me go ahead and reshare. All right, how about now?
Yes.
There we go.
All right. Okay, so many of you out there that's watching, this is the tour database. This is My Golf Genius. Navigation buttons here. We're going to jump right into our results page. Right here, the official results are posted at this tab. And then here it launches the entire field, and there's kind of some sections here that you can see at your leisure. But this is where we're going to kind of go over and review some of the prize and trophy of our event. So as I introduced, we're going to go from the bottom to the top. Here we are introducing our senior Sarazen flight champion with a shortened round of 14 holes, which these contests were all complete and made official through the number of holes that all competitors were able to complete. So through 14 holes, Mr. Buzz Rader with a round of 66 and 2-stroke victory from Springfield, Ohio is our senior Sarazen flight champion. Congratulations to Buzz Rader.
Good job, Buzz.
Yeah, good thing we didn't count the last 4 holes.
Yeah, you kind of had a bogey double and a bogey and a triple.
Yeah.
Roger that. So Buzz, real quick,
Jacob.
Buzz. Yeah, absolutely, man. Real quick, buddy. Could you kind of speak to how well you were doing? Looks like you had a good birdie there on 10, right?
That's right. Started the back 9 off good.
Okay.
But then I folded at the end.
So timing just right for you and your sake. But you know, you've been a regular player on tour for many, many years, traveled throughout the entire country. And here you are now seeing that, you know, what was a Golf Channel now to what this is. What comment do you have to say to that?
Well, not bad for an 81-year-older.
Yep. I kind of announced you as our super senior. Carry the age for all of us.
Yeah,
So.
I didn't get on in time.
Well, you'll be able to watch
I had to go back and
you'll be able to watch
replay,
it.
right?
Yep. You'll be able to watch it when we save it and upload it, okay?
Okay, okay. Well, I'll wait later on. I'll ask you another question.
All right, buddy. Thank you. And again, congratulations, Mr. Rader.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to jump up here to our senior Hogan flight. this flight too was shortened to the holes most completed by all players through 15 holes. We had an impressive round front nine. This gentleman guy right here got a really good score going off. He was 1 under through looks like 5 holes. He completed the front nine at even par.
Wow.
And for through
Wow.
15 holes, he did extremely well for a shortened event. All the way from Lancaster, Ohio, for our 5-stroke victory, we have Mr. J. Rhyan. Congratulations,
Boy,
Mr.
great.
Rhyan.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Jacob. Yeah, it was a fun day despite the rain. So glad it held off.
Yep.
Allowed us to get as many holes as we could in.
That's a really good round, man. Many of us, we've had flashes of this inside of our 18-hole rounds, but looks like you were able to carry that all the way up until you finished, man. The inaugural optional side games of last man standing. I mean, you kind of carry that both for the flight and for the entire field. So what more do you got to say about that round?
Well, I got lucky because I wish I could say every shot was a good shot, approaches and whatnot, but I gutted a couple approaches. And they just turned out okay. They were quality misses. So they didn't kill me. They didn't hurt me too bad. I was able to get up and down in a lot of cases. So, sometimes just luck is involved too. So
Right.
Good playing partner yesterday and Todd Krebs. So it was just enjoyable day.
Excellent.
And as far as, I've been
Yeah.
this is my second year on tour. And Jake, I got, there was no difference in my mind, the way that it was ran last year and the way this has gone so far. I mean, it's been seamless. So I commend you. Exceptional job. And, I was telling my significant other, the day of the tournament or the day before, what a good job you do, how much effort it takes on your part to coordinate and manage all of this information. And you're just doing a great job. So thanks. We're lucky to have you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I'm a humble dude. It's compliments to the players as well. The commitment that each of you have out there. You got to rearrange your life. You got to kind of plan accordingly with your loved ones to be at these events. The tour would not be what it is without the players. So I match my
Well, I want
commitment.
to throw something out too, that all of our spouses are, those of us that are lucky enough to have them, I guess, they afford us the opportunity to come out and do stuff like this and, practice and put up with some of our shenanigans. And, I shout out to mine for doing so. So.
Yeah, and there's people that couldn't be there yesterday. With a lot of folks phased in, they were recalled to work. So we're talking about employers, loved ones, kids, all this stuff. And like I said, man, without the players, there is no tour. So again, I match my dedication to organizing the event and with the commitment you have in plan. So it's mutual. Thank you. All right. Going on to our next flight award here. So once again, we have a flight that went final through 12 holes. Again, it's the most holes completed by all players in the flight. And here we have our 2019 Senior Jones flight champion kind of carrying the field here. And, we got this is the first of 2 senior division players who were co-joined in the open flight. They always say they play with the flat bellies, but this is not the example that they can write home about. We've got a 1-stroke victory here from Gahan, Ohio, Mr. Cliff Wiley.
I tell you what, that was fortunate that it stopped at 12 because I was going downhill fast. From there, the second 9, after I got past 12, I started really faltering. So I don't feel as well deserved, but it's just how the cards fell. And I wind up being first because, but I'll say this much. The first 2 years in the league, I actually was playing with a hernia, which kind of limited my flexibility. I got that repaired last September, and I was really looking forward to this year because I figured I was going to be more flexible and mobile and hit and shoot some better scores than I've had the first 2 years. Well, it started out like that, but it faded quick because I was worried about the tornado. I was rushing our threesome because I hate playing in the rain. And we got through 9 holes without any rain. I said, it's not going to happen for all 18. So let's get busy. Let's rush. And I lost focus after that point. But
Yeah,
it was still a fun tournament. And we really we actually got 18 holes in, and because we rushed, but you can see our scores, my score anyway, was like terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you did enough, like you said. You don't never know what page of the book that's going to stay open when you drop it, and it fell on your chapter. So it's a good chapter in that book. So congratulations to you on the win. You're first on the season, and puts you right in that position at the top of the standings in your flight. And good luck in the future events and on the seasons you're having. And nice recovery from that surgery from last year. All right, good story for
All right, thank you.
Congratulations again to Mr. Wiley. All right, so next we're going to go into our Jones flight. Once again, if you're joining this, you're just now kind of tuning in. The flights were made official to the number of holes that all players were to complete. And here we have another good story. I announced him earlier in the intro that this ain't a young kid. His name is Marcus Kidd, but he put in some good work. I had a chance to talk to Mr. Marcus earlier in the day, and he wouldn't be able to join us here, but what he did mention was he was inspired by some of the play of us on tour. I'm speaking, I got to tell you, he was speaking to myself. When I put up a personal best last year at Springfield that he wasn't able to attend, he said, man, that man right there, I want to be in that moment. I want to be in that spotlight. And he said he worked hard in the off season. He worked on his game. He worked on his preparation. He worked on his pregame routine. He actually was one of the players that showed up with a cart cover in the event that rain occurred, so that way it wouldn't be a distraction to his play. And here it is. Success is not the day of, it's up to it. And here's one of those examples here. So we have out of Blacklick, Ohio, this is an impressive 6-stroke victory over our flight, Mr. Marcus Kidd. Congratulations, Mr. Kidd. That golfer's clap. All right, we're going to move on here to our next flight. Continuing, the flight was made final through the holes, number of holes that all players were able to complete. And in this case, it's the only one we had where it's the flight where we had almost the most players, where we had a tie for first. And because of the suspended play, and even if it weren't suspended, there is not a on-course playoff for first. So all ties resort to the scorecard. And in that event, we go back the last 3 holes. So Mr. McDaniel had an 11 and Mr. Kahari had a 15. So as a result of that, Mr. Robert McDaniel was our Sarazen flight champion as by virtue of that tiebreaker. So Mr. McDaniel, by chance, are you on the line with us today? Okay. So Mr. McDaniel comes from Chesapeake, Ohio. Again, winning in that scorecard playoff. Congratulations when you see him, Mr. Robert McDaniel. All right. We're going to go to our next flight here. We got 2 more to go. A Hogan flight was our largest contested flight yesterday. And returning to the tour, we had Mr. Sammy Ruksujjar. And Sammy has been on tour. He's played 36 rounds of tournament golf. And with even the shortened event, I announced him as medalist, as if the event did complete 18 holes, he did do so. He posted a 75-3 over par. However, what score truly counts in deciding the tournament is through the 13 holes that all Hogan players were able to complete. And with that medalist round, even to 18, it actually carried him through the 13-hole victory as well. So with that, it was a 3-stroke victory, again, from Blacklick, Ohio, Sammy Ruksujjar. All right, last but not least, we save it for the best for last. And it's our Palmer flight. So our Palmer flight, for those with handicaps of 4 to 7.9, this event too flight rather, was final and made official through all the holes that all players could complete through 15. And it was kind of close there between two players, even on the front. And as it looked like it was going to continue on the backside here, narrowly coming away with the victory here for 2 strokes. We have from Lancaster, Ohio, Mr. Jim Pullins. Jim, I see you're here with us, man. Congratulations on your win. You are the second of our senior players to be co-joined in the open flight. Again, man, you've done it before. Not nothing you're not used to, but you beat the flat bellies again. So how was your day yesterday? Obviously, you're here talking, winning the flight.
It was great. I mean, the group I was with was wonderful. Woody and Jared are just great guys to play with. And you talked about pace of play. It was about 3 hours and a half from peg in the ground to ball in pocket. And things moved along really well. I want to thank Mr. Nicholas for giving us really, really wide fairways. and also, for some reason, the greens really liked me yesterday. I got a good feel for them. And so wide fairways, having a little bit of touch on the greens and playing with 2 other great guys just made the day a wonderful day. And the time we played, the weather was really good. We were never really wet. We never really got rained on. We probably had the best conditions of the day. And compliments to Nick, the pro there, for the way he treated us. They made us feel really welcome, and it was a great day and a good place to go.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Compliments to the staff at the course. Compliments to the fellow players in your group. Compliments to you as well. You know, it's a big responsibility levied upon those who lead the way off on a tournament round. What that pace of play, you kind of always, you got a clock in your mind. I mentioned 3 hours and 47 minutes. I think I cheated you guys. You said 3.5 hours, tee to pocket, ball in pocket.
Well, that's when we gave you the card.
Yeah,
that's
when we gave you the card.
The card. Yeah.
So our pace of
like
play
said,
average for the
ball
field.
in pocket.
Yeah, it's probably our pace of play for the field is probably less than 4 hours in with those numbers. So kudos to you guys. I can kind of see here where, for the beginning part of your round, you were 2 over through 3, 3 over through 5, but you really got the motor going. You got this stretch right here. You played it. So, I'm just talking to it, man. It looks like you were even par through the next 10 holes or so.
Yes. It really was pretty simple if you're not thinking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They say, if you're good at golf, it's boring, right? Because it's fairway green, 2-putt, fairway green, 2-putt. Was that any of that sort yesterday, or you say you had wide fairways, so you really had
big fairways, Yeah, so it was, like I said, it was, and the tees that you had us playing from as seniors were not tremendously tough tees. If it had been, I'd have hated to go all the way back like that with no roll at all, though. It would have been really difficult.
Okay.
So the guys that playing behind me, I mean, there were many times there was probably 30, 40 yards difference between our tee boxes.
Okay. Well, yeah, and the pro and the staff there, the superintendent did an extremely good job. There was a moment where before we teed off, there was a decisive whether we're going to be on or off the path, but we actually were able to stay 90 degrees and still able to live clean in place. So those are conditions that are very favorable for the amateur golfer, especially early in the year. You can't say what science contributes to low scores, but I'm sure that did help. Okay, I like it when it's that way. But the staff, they put the tees right there where we wanted them on all the boxes. And there wasn't too much of a distinct disadvantage as far as playing the length with the conditions that we had. Likewise, the feeling's mutual. I talked to the staff after the play, after we got suspended. Very accommodable. The bag staff team, they really, really praised how well we interacted and treated them, and left them in good standing. And I got nothing but positives even today. How well we took care of the course. Replacing divots, ball marks, not much marks on the greens. Carts were obviously disabled if you went somewhere you shouldn't. So we were staying in areas that we had to. So that's compliments to everyone that's out there that's on this tour. The conduct of the players that play on it, they kind of understand, what to do and what not to do and how they carry themselves out. And even with social distancing, we'll open this question before we pivot off to the standings. We actually were able to play with the Easy Lift device that's affixed to the flag stick. There was one ball, even for my putt, it kind of bounced on and didn't go in, but that's not the fault of the device. I hit it too hard. Okay. So what comments you guys have about that easy lift and how you had to adjust if there was a strategy towards putting on those greens?
Well, Jacob, we had my two playing partners each lost a stroke by striking that the wire on the side, and maybe we broke protocol. We turned the flag stick so we weren't putting into that wire from that point forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard some of that. It's what it is. It's not a violation. It's just etiquette. They're touched. The flag stick shouldn't be removed. The cup should be touchless. So some of those things occurred, but it's what it is right now, and it's the nature that we're all confronted with. So, all right, well, good stuff. So what we'll do here, we'll pivot. Go ahead, Mr. Ryan.
I will say one thing. It sure was nice to hear the ball hit the bottom of the cup.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that all year.
Yeah, same here.
So that's kind of because you played on courses with what, styrofoam or cup upside down?
Yeah, right. Yeah, and I actually sent it to my little home course here in town. I suggested that, hey, look into getting these things because it was nice.
So that's an excellent point that you just kind of finished on. They are called Easy Lift. Letter E, letter Z, LYFT. And there's a company out there that sells 18 of them for $495. So if it's a course that wants to get them, that's how much they cost. They sell them in 3, 1, 3, 6, 9, and 18.
I sent the link.
And it's amazing how technology and social media works. When you talk about something out loud, for some reason, it shows up on your news feed. It's just amazing. All right, so we're going to go on over to the standings here as I'm navigating on this database. So, we have the capital city point standings right here, right? So this was our first event was a local non-major, standard points applied. So these are the points that are awarded throughout the season. We have our events here that are worth double or even quadruple. And we'll just hop over in the standings. Obviously, if you won your flight or if you scored the most points in your flight, those points then carry over to the capital city point standings. And all the points here maintained and collected through all the events we have. This will help determine and decide who will be our 2020 capital city season flight champions. So this is just kind of a show and tell where you can find this information. If you want to look at all the previous years, all of that's here for archive and reference. Here shortly, between now and our event at Zanesville, this button here, these profiles will be updated. They will be updated to include the handicap information that is achieved after the rounds that we play in tournament golf. Now, the rounds we just played, if you didn't complete 18 holes, you're not going to receive a differential. You have to play 18 holes. So even though like Sammy Ruksujjar, yes, he was declared winner through 15, but because he completed 18, I'm able to collect a differential, and it's likely he will probably move up a flight. All right, so going into the event, he was an 8.5. Once that differential is scored, he'll probably go below 8, which will graduate him to the Palmer flight. So that's just an example, and then more to come. And when you see this be updated, the early part of the month of June. Okay. I kind of want to show some features in here. Even today, maybe half hour ago, before we came on this session, there was players on this tour that just simply didn't know how to get to the information that's out here. But now that we're here, there's a season calendar. I share this with you because it helps me kind of see what's going on. And for you, it kind of shows what's going to happen throughout the year. And, there's a legend over here. There's red, yellow. Yellow means the tournament. And why I wanted to present this to you, because not only does it show you the events in this format, where they're placed on the calendar, but it also informs you that I'm currently in negotiations with potential events in the month of September and October. Okay, so if there's going to be an added event, it's going to be on those dates. Okay. Make sense?
Yes. All
right. And let's get this out of here. There's all these pop-ups showing on my computer. I don't know if you can see them, but the schedule event pages here. This kind of is a a snapshot of the schedule where all the tournament information is located. And I'm getting a lot of heavy action about folks wanting to be entered into the Shaker Run event. If you're not already in this event's full. I mean, it filled up Friday last week. And every player that's out there, I tell you, go ahead and sign up early to these events because they fill up very fast, particularly if it's the next one on the schedule. So registration is open for every event, and you can cancel at any time before the registration closes to receive a refund. So there's some players that say, I don't know what the weather's going to look like. I don't know if I'm off work or not. Well, whenever that time comes that helps you make that decision, the event might be full. And the reason why it fills up fast is because currently we are in single carts. And yes, there's a potential if you are following the most current events. Governor Dewine has announced as to how course organizers can now begin putting players 2 in a cart. Okay, it's a flex option for courses right now, beginning, I think it's on the 26th of May, that courses can begin putting 2 in a cart. Now, the events won't be set up where everyone's 2 in a cart. What Governor Dewine said was, you still have to allow the flexibility that if a player is uncomfortable playing with someone else in the cart, you have to be able to provide them that option. So what this does is it permits people who carpool to the event, but then they must ride separate carts. So if I'm in the position of organizing a tournament and I'm trying to do pairings, if you're uncomfortable or not comfortable or whatever, if you're comfortable or not comfortable, I'm going to probably reach out to you to help increase the field size, but then put pairings with people who say they are comfortable playing with one another. Like if Mr. Wiley and Mr. Pullins carpools to the event, guys, let me know that. Let me know if that's your plan and if you guys want to ride in the same cart during the tournament. Okay, that's going to create an extra player into our event. So that's another layer of organization. So I'll see how best to approach the event as we get near that. Okay. All right. So we're moving along really good. So I did want to share. I said that we had a lost and found item. So this was looks like a putter cover. Let's see here. Oh, this way. So
Jacob, I found that in the first group out. So so I think that belongs to somebody at their club.
It's interesting that you share that because the staff gave it to me. So I was thinking that maybe perhaps an opportunity, if you were the founder of it and you were the first on the course, then obviously there's no chance it could be one of our players.
Right.
So, all right, well, that's not an item that we need to concern ourselves with. So now what I like to do, I had one thing and then I'll turn it over to you guys to kind of do a good short Q&A before we kind of get jumped off here, is our Facebook page. So let me share again. All right, so what you guys should see here is Facebook, right? And I just jumped over to the tour Facebook page, and what I get a lot of good analytics. I get a lot of engagements. So as you are looking at this page, you are viewing it with my permission as the admin to this site. So it may look different to you, but what I encourage you, if you are out there watching, listen, my response rate time is 100% to anyone who I engage with. It's less than 30 minutes. This page has over 580 followers. Last week, a reach of 2,900 people. People have watched the videos that's out there 87 times. And we have close to 559 people, or 560, and you can see there's a like counter. So if you like the tour page right now, it goes from 559 to 560. And why should you like it? Because as I put announcements out here, you instantly get alerts, whether it's pairings, whether it's the results. If I don't text you right away, or if I don't email you, you don't see it, you get another alert via the social media. So the reason why we come out here is 2 things. First is, if you ever lose sight or want to know information on more on how you can join and compete on this tour, this is the link right here to that dashboard we were all just watching. This is the website link right here. So this is where I have everyone try to go to. when they want to know more information. And lastly, if you have nothing but good compliments about the tour, and I get a lot of praise, Ryan, thank you. You mentioned some of that earlier in the session. If you haven't done so already, go out to this page and recommend this tour. And why that is so is because I'm the tour director, no different than the mechanics that's going to fix your car. Of course, I'm going to tell you that it might not work, or you need to buy this, and I'm going to recommend that. So coming from me, yes, I'm going to speak highly of this tour. I'm going to tell you it's the #1 tour. I'm going to tell you it's the best thing you should do. But if it comes from the player, there might be someone out there that identifies with you and your story, the experience that you had. And that is what sells people most, recommendations. Like, I gave a positive review, this is why. So I encourage you, if anything else, be kind enough to make a win for both of us, because it's going to encourage new participants and promote overall good fields that we want. So I took all that time, man, but we're less than 1 minute. This is kind of going to wrap up the award and trophy ceremony. I'll be reaching out to each of you flight champions to negotiate and make arrangements for your prize and award. Okay. So
can we get yeah, I got a question. Can we get a look at the hardware?
Yep, you will. Yep, we'll look over the catalog information and stuff. But I first got to go through the tally of who wants a trophy and who doesn't. All right.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, that's all we have. If you want to connect with me after this, please do so. But this is Jacob Bridges, tour director for the Capital City AmTour, the #1 amateur tour in the greater Columbus and Central Ohio area. So long. We'll see you next at Shaker Run on Sunday, May 24th. Take care.
All right. Okay.